Take a quick second right now and just look at your hands. I mean, really look at your fingernails. We clip them, we paint them, maybe we nervously bite them during a scary movie, and we really don't give them a second thought. But what if I told you that something so incredibly simple, something you look at every single day, is actually hiding a massive paradox? What you're looking at right now isn't just dead tissue. It is a slow-moving, highly compressed, and deeply honest history of your entire life.
Welcome to this explainer. I am so pumped to dive into this with you today because we're going to take what seems like a completely mundane body part and completely flip the script on it. We're unpacking the secret life of nails, this hidden biological marvel operating right there in plain sight. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Refined Evolutionary Tools.
Okay, so we need to start by completely overturning a pretty common assumption. You might think human nails are just, leftover shrunk-down claws. But actually, scratch that. Evolution didn't just shrink them down over millions of years, it totally repurposed them. Claws are built for one thing: brute strength, tearing, climbing, slashing. But human nails, they were explicitly designed for precision grip and enhanced touch sensitivity. Evolution made a very specific trade here. We quite literally swapped out that brute strength for precise, fine-tuned control. Having that hard keratin shield right behind the soft pad of your fingertip actually increases your tactile sensitivity. It acts like a counterbalance, turning your fingers into high-tech precision instruments. Without them, our ancestors couldn't have plucked tiny seeds or mastered complex tools. Fine motor skills, at least the way we use them today, just wouldn't exist.
Moving right along to Section 2, the hidden mechanics of growth. To really understand how these tools work, we have to look under the hood. The hard part, you tap on a desk, that's just the nail plate. It's essentially dead keratin, which thankfully is why clipping them doesn't hurt. But the true control center, the nail matrix, is completely hidden underneath your skin, right at the base. That's the factory. That is where new living cells are constantly dividing and pushing the older, dead cells forward. If you've ever, say, slammed your finger in a door and ended up with a weird ridge or white spot that took months to grow out, well, you temporarily damaged that hidden factory. It's a great reminder that in biology, the stuff that matters most is almost always operating entirely out of sight.
And the speed of that factory is absolutely fascinating. Healthy fingernails grow at an average rate of about 3 millimeters per month. Think about that for a second. That 3 millimeters? That's a direct reflection of your body's metabolism. It's like a tiny physical speedometer showing you exactly how actively your body is renewing itself. When you're younger or eating well, that factory is just humming along. But it naturally slows down with age, poor nutrition, or chronic stress. It literally operates like a finely tuned engine that responds directly to the fuel it gets.
But here's where it gets wildly cool. Growth isn't just uniform or random across your hands. Your dominant hand almost always grows nails faster than your non-dominant hand. Why? It's brilliantly simple. Because you use it more. All that extra gripping, typing, and writing demands more blood flow. And more blood flow brings an abundance of extra nutrients and oxygen straight to the nail matrix, which actually cranks up the growth rate. It is stunning, physical proof that function directly shapes biology. Your body is incredibly efficient, sending resources exactly where they're being utilized the most.
Now, if you want to actually see this process in action, look at the base of your thumb. You see that little white half-moon shape peeking out? That's called the lunula. And it's not just a discoloration, it's actually the visible tip of the matrix itself. It is a real-time window into active cell production. It's one of the only places on your entire body where you get a completely naked, unfiltered glimpse of cellular growth happening in real time. You are literally looking at living tissue in the exact moment it transitions into hardened keratin.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 3, your biological diagnostic screen.
So we know how they grow, but how exactly do they act as a diagnostic screen for your whole internal system? Well, it comes down to one absolutely crucial biological reality. Energetically speaking, nails are incredibly low-priority tissues. You can survive perfectly fine without them. And because your body knows that, they become highly honest indicators. You might fake feeling fine at work, but you absolutely cannot hide sickness from your fingernails. When illness hits, your body is smart. It goes into immediate triage mode, diverting vitamins and energy away from your fingertips and sending them straight to your heart, lungs, or immune system to keep you alive.
And that diversion creates a fascinating chain reaction. When those nutrients are pulled away, the factory at the matrix slows down or stutters. But remember that 3 millimeter a month pace? the nail is still slowly creeping forward. So that temporary disruption leaves a permanent physical mark, like a dent or a discolored band that slowly travels up the nail plate over the next few weeks and months. It's exactly like reading the rings on a tree. Your nail literally becomes a chronological, readable timeline of your health over the past half year. It preserves the physical memory of a severe fever long after you've actually recovered.
Because of this, long before other symptoms become obvious, your nails are quietly sounding the alarm that something systemic is off. For instance, if your nails are exceptionally pale, that can point to anemia, meaning oxygen isn't transporting well because you lack healthy red blood cells. What about clubbing, where the fingertips widen and curve over aggressively? That can signal chronic lung or heart issues where blood oxygen is consistently low. Or pronounced horizontal ridges, called Bowes lines. They point to massive metabolic stress, like major surgery or a severe viral infection. A good dermatologist can quite literally read your medical history straight off your fingertips.
Which brings us to Section 4, the mind and physics.
Let's step away from internal medicine for a sec and talk psychology, specifically nail biting. It's so easy to dismiss it as just a bad habit, right? Just a frustrating lack of willpower. But science actually shows us it's a deeply ingrained neurological loop. It is heavily linked to anxiety regulation, dopamine reward cycles in the brain, and it even strongly overlaps with obsessive-compulsive conditions. When someone bites their nails, it's often their brain desperately trying to self-regulate the nervous system's tension. It's basically a mammalian grooming instinct misfiring under modern stress. It gives a tiny spike of dopamine, a brief sense of completing a task, making it a very real coping mechanism for internal pressure, not just a quirky habit.
And moving from the mind back out to the physical world, why do healthy nails just look so good? Honestly, you don't always need an expensive salon trip, you just need optical physics. A truly healthy nail has a perfectly smooth, uninterrupted cellular surface. And that pristine surface acts exactly like a mirror, reflecting incoming light uniformly and perfectly parallel to create that natural, healthy shine. But if a nail is unhealthy, brittle, or dehydrated, it develops microscopic bumps and cracks. Those tiny irregularities scatter light in 1,000 different directions, making the nail look totally dull and matte. It's a brilliant example of how what we call cosmetic beauty actually just comes down to structural, mathematical order.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the ultimate silent witnesses.
We've reached the end of the timeline, and things get a little eerie here, but it's utterly fascinating. Even after a person dies, their nails keep working. They act as incredibly resilient biological traps. They capture and lock in foreign DNA, chemical traces, and microscopic environmental particles, like specific types of pollen, soil, or even gunshot residue. Because keratin is so tough and doesn't decay easily, these tiny shields become absolutely crucial clues in forensic science. They preserve the physical evidence of someone's final desperate actions and map out their exact environment. They are literally the ultimate silent witnesses in any investigation.
So, pulling all this together, nails embody this beautiful, profound paradox. They grow totally quietly, no sensation, no pain, no urgency at all. You completely ignore them as you go about your day. Yet, as we've just seen, they are broadcasting your deeply hidden nutritional status, the overarching quality of your blood circulation, your hormonal balance, and your chronic stress levels. They are one of the absolute structurally simplest tissues in your entire body, yet they carry some of the most complex, systemic data we possess as humans.
I want to leave you with this incredibly provocative thought directly from our source material. Pain yells at you, right? A fever makes itself known immediately by completely shutting you down. But your nails? They don't speak loudly like pain or fever. They whisper. Your body is constantly talking to you, writing out a highly detailed autobiography right there on your fingertips, but only the careful, attentive observers ever really understand what it's whispering. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Next time you look down at your hands, I sincerely hope you see them in a totally new light.